No evil
No evil
shall escape my sight.
shall escape my sight.
Let those who worship evil's might
Let those who worship evil's might
beware my power, Green Lantern's light.
beware my power. Green Lantern's light.
Hell yeah. All right, now we're ready to get to work.
All right.
We have a tradition recording where if anybody's a lantern, our audio guy gives them. He has the full set of all the rings. Gives them their power ring for their lantern core, and they say their oath before they do their lines. Every time.
It is absolutely a way to get them in the vibe and get them in character for these moments. As we're moving from the real world into a fantastic world, it's a reminder of those core values. All these lanterns are about specific things, and it's a good way to sort of restate those things, remind the actor of what they are, and also make it fun, and give them something memorable.
Spit it out at me.
Savor your victory while you can, Jordan.
We're playing, we're having fun, we're riffing on stuff, and in that process, that's where really amazing things happen.
Savor your victory while you can, Jordan.
I mean, one of the things about it is that every single one is very different, and every single one requires a different approach and different types of communication, different types of reinforcement, and getting to know them as people is part of getting to know them as actors that I'm working with, and so that's very compelling. There are moments where the magic just happens, or the magic just comes from thin air.
It's not, okay, I want to be evil or anything like that. It's like, I can be evil for a little bit. I can play that character. Honestly, it's being somebody who I'm not and kind of embodying that and seeing how that works.
A lot of it's a team effort between me and Alex, because he has a vision of what it's supposed to be, and I can try to provide as much of that as I can, and then try to embody what he is trying to present to the players, to the game, to the world. And we work real well together. I mean, I take his cues, I make the adjustments, and I do what I can to make the lines work. And then he comes back later, like I said, and splices them together, puts the effects, and makes it all work in the context of the game. But, as far as the character goes, once again, it's massive, it's big, it's slow, it's thoughtful, and it's powerful. Our enemies attempted to fulfill the prophecy. It pleases me to say they failed.
The Blue. Harry, you must save the Blue.
The Blue.
I love Mogo. I'm so glad we were able to bring him to DCUO. Mogo is more than just his voice. It's the planet itself. It's a planet that's full of life. It's a planet that's full of power. You can see it in the crystals. There, you can see it in the way that he's providing food for the refugees on the planet. You can see his pain, the way the Guardians are torturing him and trying to turn him yellow and feeding him fear of the Guardians.
One thing that's really cool about working on the game is we're like very much like comics and movies. We're telling a story over multiple parts. So in the first part, when we first meet Luzia, she's the bad guy. And we see her at her worst.
Just do it. Do it! Get it over with.
We find out why she does the things she does, which I think is kind of a key to a lot of really good bad guys and villains is, they're not just tropes. They have a reason why they're doing the bad things that they do. And we find that out.
You're not well. Help me. In some place like Arkham Asylum? Is that your idea of justice, sister?
Well, for Speranza particularly, she's her journey and what we've kind of been looking at her through her lens is she's at the beginning she's trying to find her sister, she's trying to reconnect with her in this way, but Luzia is just in another space. There's so much hate and anger and madness inside of her. Of course, that's not where Speranza lives. Speranza means hope, so she's in the place of hope. I'm here and I'm here for you, sister, and I want to make sure that you're okay and you come back to the hope, you come back to the light. But Luzia is just nowhere there. But her arc really just is amazing because she goes from hatefulness and anger and just destruction, to a point where she realizes, oh my gosh, I've done all this.
And then we see her get to take a step away from that and start the road back towards being the good person that she was before she was a villain. And so in this issue, we're seeing the good side of her. We're seeing a person that's making amends for the bad things that she has done before. And where she was our enemy in the previous content, now she's actually fighting with us. She's out in the field with us. She's going on missions with us.
The Blue Lanterns. Mogo, where are they?
When I joined this team and I met with the editors at DC, I had an opportunity to pitch them an idea about what if we introduce a new color? What if we introduce a gray lantern, a lantern of grief? We want to tell a story of grief. And they were really excited about it. As we talked to them further, it turns out that they had similar plans of their own. And that's when they introduced Nathaniel Broome as the Lantern Sorrow. So our stories kind of went on a parallel journey together while we developed our Sorrow Lantern as they were developing theirs.
And as we started working with the people in DC, we got together and we said, hey, well, let's both go after this. So we like to keep abridged of what is happening in continuity, so we don't have our Gray Lantern doing things that their Gray Lantern might or might do or might not do. Luzia, for example, is our character in our canon. We have some creative license to explore what it means for her as a person to be a Gray Lantern, because everybody approaches grief and sorrow differently, and the source of that is different. So the source of her grief and her sorrow is very different than the source of the grief and sorrow for the canon Gray Lantern. So we're having some fun, and we're basically telling two cool stories basically at the same time.
Luzia started off a broken character, the Reckoning, who fell into this addiction of her power where she started doing very terrible things. And she has a lot of guilt associated with that. And she's facing that as an Indigo Lantern. When her sister Esperanza tragically dies, it's just too much. It's just too much for her. And she goes beyond sorrow. She falls into a deep grief that's so powerful it immediately spreads over the entire planet of Mogo, and Mogo turns gray. This is going to have tremendous consequences in the story, in the universe. When a lantern as powerful as Mogo turns gray, what does that mean for the universe? And that's where we want to take the story next. One of the most fun things we got to do, Paul and I, was we got to define the Gray Lantern Oath. That was a really special moment because we knew we needed an oath. And especially when Luzia first becomes the Gray Lantern, what is she going to say? And we needed to make sure that it was strong, it was powerful, and it was canonical. So I came up with an early version of it. It was okay. We brought it to DC. They had a lot of comments. Paul took it and he wrote this great oath for the Gray Lanterns. He went back and forth with that and we got approval. So it is from DC. It is now the official oath for the Gray Lanterns.
All days are neither dark or bright. Gray sorrow grips my soul so tight. When dearest hope seems all but lost, my broken heart will pay the cost.
Part of the research of writing the oath was to bring up all of the other oaths. Generally, they all follow a certain meter and a certain pattern. So to basically match, it was almost like Green Lantern haiku. It's like matching the beats and the meter of the other oaths, like the Green Lantern Corps oath, the Sinestro Corps oath, and then applying that and then going, okay, now we have the meter established and general number of syllables, for example, per line. Now we got to tie it into what that core is about, what being a Gray Lantern is about, sorrow and grief. I'm really happy with what we came up with. We're excited to have that little bit of our contribution to DC Universe lore.
Providing the voice for a Gray Lantern, especially coming from having been part of the Indigo tribe and then part of the Reckoning, where it comes from emotionally is that there's so much sorrow and there's so much grief. You know, we played around with, okay, how is she? Is she just, you know, sort of dead inside and cold and then I'm now just delivering this? Or is this moment now, I'm just distressed and just broken again, you know, and in a different way. This time, all hope, her sister, is on. And how does one reconcile with that? I mean, at that point you don't. And so there's to voice her at that moment, and I got wonderful insight with that. It was more of, we wanted to go with, this is a collapsed person. And she is broken, and she is defeated, and she is sad because everything that she had in her life is now gone.
Big universe out there. Come on and have fun with us. We invite you to be a part of the DC universe.
Thank you for joining us and learning a little bit more about Fearful Day and Luzia, our Gray Lantern. The story will continue for a few more chapters. We've got a lot of exciting story to tell you and a lot of powerful stuff to show you. So just remember, in the War of Light, to look to the stars.